I call the member for Penrith.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I too rise to support this motion, and I note the contribution of my friends, the member for the Entrance and the member for Strathfield. I was hoping I'd be able to acknowledge the contributions from the other side, but after that dribble I just cannot. I acknowledge the member for Epping when back 6 years ago in 2018, the then Treasurer Perrottet demanded a fairer GST share for New South Wales. He knew then it impacted our state unfairly, as it does today. In fact, at the time, he described the GST setting formula as black magic, and I couldn't agree more. I acknowledge that Treasurer Mookhey was able to weave his magic in the first budget and was able to pull a rabbit out of a hat by uncovering $13 billion in savings, plugging a $7 billion unfunded programs and reducing some of the state debt that your lot left us.
Member from Miranda, you're on your first call.
However, the Treasurer would have to be Houdini.
Member from Miranda, can I stop the clock, please? Member from Miranda, you are entitled to take a point of order, but I would appreciate when I'm in the chair, you don't start by yelling from there and then storming up to the lectern to take that point of order. What is your point of order, please?
Mr Speaker, it's 129, its relevance. The member has left the subject of the question and is now speaking about any budgetary matters which are not the subject of this motion, which is about the GST.
I thank the member. In close listening to the debate today, I've heard people talking about some unusual things. Given the motion that's been moved, I'll allow the member to continue, but I will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. However, the Treasurer, Mookhey, would have to be Houdini, David Copperfield, Penn and Teller all rolled into one in order to deal with a $1.65 billion GST shortfall, just 12 weeks out from a state budget.
Stop the clock, please. Okay. And we restart.
Thank you, Speaker. Seriously, our state needs certainty when it comes to planning for the New South Wales budget. This Parliament is right to say we want our fair share. We need to be able to provide the services that the people of New South Wales not only elected us to provide but also deserve, and more importantly have paid for. The current system where the Commonwealth Grants Commission simply hands down a ruling with hardly any notice and no chance to appeal is completely unacceptable. The system where towns like Kiama and Stanwell Park are classified as major cities and funds are cut to service them is ridiculous. It's just mind-blowing that the state's largest infrastructure project, the Western Sydney Airport in Aerotropolis, which was previously designated to be a major city, now with the stroke of a pen becomes inter-regional. Speaker, this lunacy is why the Premier and Treasurer have taken up the fight to fix the system and get a better outcome for our state. I'm pleased to say the Treasurer has raised this with other state treasurers, and we know that all states want to support their communities, and this government knows there is a better way for all states and the Commonwealth to deliver this. Let's look at what the system could be. We need a straightforward system where GST goes back to states based on population. That's the simplest, fairest way to do things. The federal government can top up smaller states to make sure they're not worse off. That will cost the federal government less than the no worse off guarantee would have cost them in the longer term. Getting reform with other states will take some time, it is acknowledged. But even while we were stuck with the current system, the CGC could improve things by 1, telling each state how much GST we can expect for the next 4 years, not just 1, so that everyone knows what the annual decision means for our budgets. 2, the CGC should give us a draft decision that can be reviewed and appealed if necessary. 3, they should require all states to tell each other what it costs to deliver the same services so we can all keep each other honest. Speaker, some states are worried that New South Wales is the big bad state and that we won't share, but that's not true. For every dollar that Victoria is given to the smaller states next year, New South Wales is giving 7. We acknowledge that there needs to be a way to help smaller states in our Commonwealth, but we want to do it fairly, predictably and with certainty. A system that everyone can reliably reliably predict and budget with is a fiscally responsible system that helps small and big states alike. We may be accused of negativity and whining, but in fact our government is being positive and proactive in our proposals and advocacy because the current system is broken and can't last. The fact that there are comments that these complaints arise every year demonstrates just how broken it is. The federal government has to be part of the solution, and we look forward to their cooperation and working with them. And I commend this motion to the House.
Thank you. I call the member.